friends, I am back with another video. While I am braiding these box braids, I figured we could chat a little bit. I apologize in advance for any noise, background noise, etc. They are working on the pool over here, and so yeah. So it's been on my heart for a minute, but I was trying to figure out like how to like get my thoughts out about it, or how to talk about it. And I wanted to tell you guys a couple of these stories, but I wanted to make sure that not necessarily that the people I was talking about was protected, but I wanted to tell y'all what was going on without actually like identifying these people, because they don't deserve a platform for that. So let's talk about like monitoring spirits and friends that like secretly hate you. I have a few stories, but and let's talk about the grief that comes with it, because I don't think anybody ever talks about this. Like, we will talk about how, you know, a breakup or something hurt, or like how falling out with a family member hurts, but I don't think people really talk about like how sad you really are like when a friendship ends. I'm not gonna say lose, because I don't think that's not even, they don't deserve that much credit, but how, you know, it's very hurtful when a friendship ends. Like, I know for myself, when I'm friends with somebody, I really truly care for my friends. I really truly care about my friends. I'm really truly interested in what they have going on. And you invest yourself, like you invest your time, you invest your emotions, you invest your energy into these friendships. And a lot of people, when they leave with a bang, and they treat you as if like they never gave a damn. And it has you wondering and questioning like, well, how long did you feel like this about me? Like, how long did you hate me? You know what I mean? So I think the earliest memory that I have of something like this, I had a best friend when I was about, I'm gonna say maybe about like 12, 13, right? And that was my nigga. Like, I had moved recently. At that time, I had moved to Arizona from LA with my dad, and I was going to this school, and I just felt like very isolated and alone, because, you know, I didn't know anybody. I was new there. You know, this is like the 8th grade, so these people have already known each other. They've already been around each other. You know what I mean? And then not only am I coming into a new school, but I'm in a new school in a new state. These people don't know anything about me. I can't relate to them. You know, like, our fashion was different. The things that we had was different. You know, like, in LA back then, we all had chirps. I come out there and people don't even have cell phones, so they're looking at me like I'm some sort of alien, or oh, she thinks she better than everybody because she got on these shoes, or she got on, you know, we all got regular uniform pants on, and her mama bought her Dickie pants or whatever. You know, my hair being done, all of that stuff. And so this friend, I remember when she came in, we got to chatting, and I was like, oh, you sound like me. Like, where are you from? And she was like, oh, I'm from LA. And we ended up clicking. The funny thing was, come to find out, our moms actually worked at the same company, and we didn't even know it until graduation. But me and her was cool. Like, I would go to her house, and she was like, she had a single dad as well. So we were so like able to relate on so many different levels, right? But I think that I always felt something was a little off. Like, I never completely felt comfortable around her. And part of me as an adult now feels like the only thing that we did have in common was being from where we were from. And I feel like it was easier for her to kind of just have me around as a friend, instead of having to forge like relationships with other people, because she was very like, you know, LA girls, like, I always equate it similar to like Chicago girls or girls from like the East Coast. Like, we're all very sweet, but we come off kind of harsh because of where we come from. It's like a thing that we have to unlearn, because when you go to other places, they take us personal, right? And a lot of people kind of looked at her like she was really just rough around the edges, and she was cool. But I noticed a change in her when we got to a point of like, when we started liking boys and stuff like that. And she wasn't necessarily boy crazy. And at this time, I spoke about it in another video, you know, like my pick me video. I didn't have the most confidence in myself. I was very insecure. I did not think I was cute. And I felt like she knew this, and she played on it. So, I remember there was an apartment building behind my house, and we walked back there one day, and all of the boys, for some reason, they liked her and they didn't like me. I to this day still can't tell you why, but whatever. And I remember, like, I had this little backpack that I would bring when I would go to her house, and I think she was wearing my backpack this day, and we were in the back and we was running around or whatever, and all the boys wanted to talk to her. And I kind of, like, obviously, you know, I was raised, you, wherever you go with your friends is, you know, you, the same friends that you go with is the same friends you return with. So I was uncomfortable, you know, I felt a little left out, and I wanted to go home, but I couldn't go home because she was running around with the boys. And over time, like, they all kind of got close to her, and they thought she was cool, and they kind of treated me like the weirdo. And I will never forget, like, you guys know how, like, when your cycle starts, especially, you got to think, we're talking about, like, we're children still, right? So your cycle starts, and you might have, like, the stains from, you know, oh shit, I'm spotting or whatever. And she had my backpack, and I find out later that she was showing these people my underwear. And so, like, I had been accused of having all kind of, like, doo-doo skids in my drawers and all kind of shit like that. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? And one of the boys that I was actually ended up being cool with later, rest in peace, ended up telling me, like, oh yeah, like, this is what she was doing. And, you know, he was like, yeah, we're grown now. Like, I know now, like, that's not what that was. But, you know, we were kids, so it was funnier to just go, oh, ha, 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 like, take our skids in the drawers, right? If we went to the mall, you know, like, we would both have money or whatever, but she'd go up there to meet, like, whoever her boyfriend was at the time. And I would just always be left out. And then I remember, like, even at school, like, when she started to, like, be friends with other people, she was mean to me. Now, I can understand now as an adult, like I said, I wasn't the most confident. I didn't have, you know, I didn't have the highest self-esteem. And, you know, she was able to play on that and use that to kind of manipulate me into being whatever friend she wanted me to be. And she would gaslight me bad, y'all. Like, gaslight me bad. But fast forward a couple of years, so we graduate. We end up going to 2 different high schools, so we really didn't talk to each other much. And then we both, after graduation, ended up moving back to LA. And I noticed that, like, okay, so we linked back up, and I noticed that when she would be going through things, she would be available to me. But the more that I had, like, you know, linked back up with old friends or develop new friendships, because mind you, at this point, we're in college, we got jobs and stuff like that, and the more that we would, like, the more that I kind of started coming into myself, I realized the less and less that she liked me. So around this time, like 08, 09, like, Twitter was, like, real big and busy, right? And the more that I would post on Twitter, the more that she would sub me. And it was, like, the wildest shit. And then what she would do is she would do all of that. And then, of course, like, I'm not going to argue with her, but I would just leave her alone because I already noticed what she was doing. I peeped it already. I would leave her alone. But then, like, you know, let's say her and her baby daddy or something is going through it, and now she needs a friend again. And so she would reach back out to me, and, you know, I'd forgive her. We'd be cool again. And I think the last time I had talked to her was me and my oldest son's father had gotten into an altercation. And I remember telling her about it. And she did ask me if I was okay. I told her yes. And then she literally just stopped talking to me. I hadn't talked to her for years. My oldest son is now 11. She reached out to me on Instagram. Like, she was in my requests. And the way that she wrote her name on the Instagram and the way her actual name is written threw me off because I didn't realize it was her until I opened the messages. And it was like, oh my God, like, I haven't seen you forever. Like, let me find out that you're this, that, and the third now. Oh, I'm so proud of you. And hey, beautiful, and all this stuff. And it offended me. Like, I literally told my best friend, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to take this message. Like, I don't know if maybe she's just in a different part, like a different point in her life. And she genuinely wanted to see how I was doing. But it still came off. It might have been genuine, y'all, because a lot of the time, you know, we deal with people based off of our last experience with them. It might have really been genuine, but to me, it just came off as very condescending and, like, backhanded. Like, when I was a kid, or when we were kids, you knew that I thought I was ugly, and you treated me according to that. Like, and now at 34, it's, oh, hey, beautiful. Like, it just, I don't know. It just came off weird. And I gave her a very generic, like, oh, hey, girl, hey, thank you so much. And I didn't respond after that. Like, because it just felt like, and like I said, it might have been genuine. People change every day. But it just felt like the same behavior. And then I noticed that she kind of watched my stories for like the next 2 weeks, and then she stopped following me. And sometimes I wonder if those monitoring spirits, like when they realize they've done you a certain way, like, do they watch you because they want to see if you're actually doing good? Like, maybe they feel bad. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But I've had so many situations like that. Like, I had a friend that was a really, really close friend to me, like really close friend. And we were in the same industry. And, you know, one day it was brought to my attention that, you know, she was loving me publicly, but privately was talking about me like a dog. And when I confronted her about it, like, it was almost like all hell broke loose. Like, she would message me, like harassing me from all these fake pages, talking to me crazy, just all of that. And it's so funny because going back to monitoring spirits, every time I post a piece of content, if she thinks it's about her, and I done blocked her a million and one times, y'all, but if she thinks it's about her, she has to comment and let you guys know. Like, I never call this girl by name or nothing. And she has to comment. She has to say something. And I'll never forget, like, I went live one day and was talking about an experience that I had based off of something that she had caused. And she emailed me, wrote me this long ass email and was like, yep, and I did this and this because you did this. Like, people be so convicted, y'all, that they end up telling on themselves. I had another supposed friend that me and her, we seemed to be cool, right? Like, same thing. I was around her. Every time I was around her, everything was everything, right? But when she would bring me around other friends of hers that I didn't even know, didn't know these people from a can of paint, she would bring me around them and they did not like me. And if I've never met these people before, why are their noses turned up at me? What did you tell these people about me? And I'll never forget, like, I was dealing with this dude and she was friends with this girl, I guess, that was dealing with him as well. And the only reason why I even knew this is because guess who came and told me? Her. She told me. And then at her baby's first birthday party, y'all, she had the girl there. Like, tell me you don't fuck with me without telling me you don't fuck with me. And then I respectfully let her know, like, I'm cool on this friendship pretty much. And her mom for like months tried to reach out to me. And, you know, while I have all the respect in the world, you know, for her mother, we're not children. Like, you don't have to reach out on her behalf. Like, I wish her nothing but the best. All of these people, I wish them nothing but the best. Another thing that I've noticed too is that sometimes you'll be in your own little bubble. I'm a Gemini. I be in my own little world, y'all. Like, I literally be frolicking through the flowers in my head. I don't even be paying attention to what's going on the ground, right? And people take that a certain way. Like, you could literally just be walking around like, la la la, oh look, a beautiful butterfly. And somebody would hit your phone and be like, bitch, you was never my friend. And you be like, excuse me? How do we get here? Like, I had a friend literally do that to me. Like, cooking dinner for my family. And out of nowhere, I get a text message laying into me. Bitch, you're this, you're that, you're da. And we ended up talking about it like years later, and come to find out, I'm not even gonna say a mutual friend because this was her friend. She brought her friend into the group. And that girl was the one feeding her bullshit. But I'm a person, I feel like if you call yourself my friend and you feeling away, like, come talk to me. Because a lot of the time we will create narratives and stories in our head. And by the time you guys actually talk it out, it's not even that. But you've created a narrative and you've let it fester for so long that now you have to prove yourself right. I don't want to be right. I want us to have an understanding. You know what I mean? So, I've had so many friends that do that though. And what I've learned in all of it is that a lot of the time, by you just being you, that shit will like literally irritate somebody's demons. Like, you won't even know it. You'll literally be sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I was washing dishes. How we end up not being friends and all I did today was wash dishes? It's literally because they sit there And they didn't talk to everybody and their mama before they even came to you, right? So we supposed to be friends. But you ain't told me that you had an issue. You done told 18 other people that don't know me that you had an issue. And a lot of the time, when whoever these people are talking to ain't even your people. They're not mutual. You've never had a conversation with them. Nothing. And so now you got them feeding you shit in your head, and it makes sense for your narrative, right? And so, of course, somebody that doesn't know the other person or they don't know the story is going to be like, oh, yeah, girl, you wasn't wrong. And a lot of people are ass kissers. Like, I'm going to tell my friends, you know what? I understand why you feel the way that you feel, but I think you're being a little too harsh. Or I think that you're wrong here. You know, I would deal with it like this. Those are the kind of people that you want around. I don't want no yes men around me. I don't want nobody every 5 seconds telling me that I'm right. No. And even if I am right in the situation, but I could have handled it different, tell me that. Don't let me crash out and be ruining friendships. And then the sad part is one of the things that I've noticed, I've literally only had 2 people in my whole lifetime come back and apologize to me and say, you know what, I'm so sorry because the space that I was in here and here, you know what, like I was jealous, or you know, this person was telling me this, or you know what, you're absolutely right and it took me this long to figure out XYZ. But honestly, by then, like, we're 2 different people. Like, there's people that will let years go by. At that point, you don't even know me anymore. Like, we might look the same. You know, black don't crack unless you smoke it. I might still have the same face. You might still have the same face. But baby, this is 10, 11, 12 years of growth. You have no idea who I am anymore. That me that didn't love me enough, baby, I'm not her. I am not her. And it's so funny because a lot of them will try to come back around and try to mend that relationship. And while that's all good and dandy, it's like, we don't even connect anymore. We don't even align anymore. So energetically, like, you can't even hold a candle to who I am now. And the minute I say no, you're probably going to feel away. Like, they literally, it's so wild. Like, go ahead and pray that prayer and ask God to reveal your enemies and watch how many of them enemies is the people that's close to you. Them people that can't wait to tell you how much they dislike you or what they loathe about you. Like, I'm telling you, it's happened to me so much. And it was hurtful, y'all. Like, there would literally be times I'll never forget. Like, I literally, the most recent fallout that I had was maybe about 2 years ago. And y'all, that girl was so angry with me from a place that I still, to this day, can't even begin to understand. And I realized a lot of what was said to me was just purely like, it was projection. It was everything that she felt about herself. And she probably didn't even realize it. And I give her grace because I look back now and I realize, like, as much as I was trying to love on you and be your friend and help you in the places that I could, some people take that as bragging. Like, your heart may be in the right place. You see a friend down and out and you can help. And they may take that as, oh, so she thinking she got a little bit more money than me, that I need her for something. I don't know. I'm not her, not in her head, but that's just kind of the thought that I have. But I remember talking to my mom and I was just like, why do I keep ending up in these situations? You know, and I asked my dad the same thing, and they both told me that a lot of the time you got to look at who you were at the time that you became friends with these people. And I realized that God was doing a clearing for me. A lot of these people that I had become friends with, around the time that I had become friends with them, we was all running around fresh out of high school, running around at functions, you know, getting drunk, shaking ass everywhere. You know, some of them are still doing that. And look, no shade to them. Baby, have a ball, okay? I don't got them kind of babysitters. But a lot of the time you really do just outgrow people. And a lot of us have been taught that, oh, you know, you want to be friends with these people for so long. Like my auntie's friend group, she's been friends with since I was born. We're 13 years apart. And so I used to always strive to have those kind of friend groups. But the older you get, you realize, like, you gotta make room for new people. I don't subscribe to that no new friends. You'll have yourself in the most toxic, uncomfortable situation because you are too afraid to meet new people, or you don't want to make your current friends feel a way about bringing new friends in. No, baby, because you don't even understand how much of a blessing them people might be. Like, you have no idea what God has for you if you could just let go of those people that no longer are for you, or those friendships and relationships that no longer serve you. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because a lot of the time change scares us. I get it. And then I like, okay, me and my current best friend, when her and I started to notice that we were getting close, I literally told her, like, listen, I have friendship PTSD. Okay, I'm literally afraid of making new friends right now because of the last few people that I've fallen out with that have just done me just beyond dirty. And you know what's funny is all she said was, you know what? Me too. And we are very honest with each other in a lot of situations. And we're very like, hey, I know you're probably not tripping, but this happened the other day. And I feel like maybe I made you feel a way. And we both be like, girl, nobody felt any kind of way about anything. And we be like, oh, that's just our PTSD talking, you know? And we work those things out with each other. And I pray those kind of friendships on all of us. I feel like we all deserve it. But in that doing the work, sometimes you have to look and say, you know what? While I love these people, you know, I got to respectfully let you go. And some people will respect that, and some people will go out with a bang. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you liked this topic and this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.